I thought a lot about how I'd been treated. I thought a lot about how I'd been treated over the years, and it didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about what had been going on in that friendship over the last few years. For me, it was a decision I had to make for myself. I had to set my boundaries. And I think the older we get, it is so important that we set those boundaries for loved ones, work colleagues, friends. And the more we can step into that and protect ourselves and protect our energy and protect what lights us up, that is incredibly important for us to step into being unapologetically us and being true to ourselves and not being someone to other people or that person that people want us to be. Welcome to 50 and Fearless, the podcast where bold women gather, grow, and go after more. I'm your host, Kylie Jones, and this is your time. Hello and welcome to 50 and Fearless, the podcast. It is so fantastic to have you back here for episode number 2. Today is going to be a tough one, and it's one that I actually hesitated and thought a lot about if I was ready to share. But I think it's a conversation that we're not having enough around. And I think there is so many women out there going through what I've been through. And I just think it's really important that I bring it to the table, I have the discussion around it, and we move through the grief, the hard times, because what I'm all about in this community is how you come out the other end. So you go through that hard time and you come out into your, I'm going to say it straight up, we go straight into our no fucks era. And this one probably really does sit very strongly in that no fucks era. And this is not about divorce. This is not about losing your job. This is not about losing parents and the grief you go through when you lose parents. It's actually the loss of a friendship, and a friendship that you've probably had for a very long time, and a friendship that you think will never fade, that will never go away, that you will be besties forever. And then there's a shift, and it's a really, really tough thing to go through. And you have to make some big decisions, and those decisions will impact others around you. But most importantly, it is something that you have to make for yourself. So, as always, I'm going to give you my story and share that with you. And I hope it helps women out there who are going through a similar thing that I went through, and or women that are struggling currently in a friendship and not sure what to do about it. So, I want to tell you a little bit of background about myself and a very dear friend that we have been friends for 25 years. So, very long time. We met while traveling. We traveled together. We lived in other countries together, bridesmaid at her wedding. Um, I've been through the pregnancies together. We've had babies together. We've been through the journey raising children together. And then I felt the shift and the drift was starting to happen. And I think the big thing was the outlook I had on life and the way she saw life. And as we all know, the older we get, we change. We really do change, and how we see things changes. And it was a friendship that I thought was a lifetime friendship. And I'm sure you've all heard reason, season, lifetime. And this to me was a lifetime friendship, always was going to be. But there were things that were just happening for me that didn't sit well for me. And I'm not going to go into detail here, but they didn't align with who I was. And I felt like there was a really big disconnect, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I felt like I was taking on all of her problems, because when I'm a friend, I am 100% in there for you. I'm supportive. I do whatever I can to make help my friends through their problems, to guide my friends as much as I can. And I felt like every single conversation was about this person. And I'd occasionally at the end of the call get, "And how are you? Are you okay? Good. Okay, bye." It felt very disconnected. And the older we get, things start happening in our world. Our parents get sick. We become the carer of our children and our parents. We lose parents. We have friends go through divorce. There's all these different things we go through. But through all of that, you stand by your friend, you support your friend, you have each other's back, you hold each other's hands through the good times, the bad times, you laugh together through the good, you cry together through the bad, but you have shared experiences and you both share those experiences with each other. And as the years, and this isn't months, these are years started going by, I felt like I wasn't being heard. I felt like our values, morals didn't align anymore. And I felt like we were just going in a really, really different direction. And I was struggling. I was really, really struggling with that. And it was causing me a lot of heartache, a lot of grief. I would find every time I'd hang up the phone, I'd feel absolutely exhausted because I felt all of my energy being sucked from me every time we spoke. And maybe a better way of putting it is that my cup was just emptied and never being filled up. And this went on for many years, many, many years. And she was going through a lot, but so was I. And that's friendship. The friendship goes both ways. And what I discovered was that when I went through the terrible hard time of losing my parents, that this person wasn't there for me. And that was a massive, massive slap in the face for me. And there's all the excuses in the world and all of that stuff. But for me, the loss of your parents is one of the toughest things you will go through. And I didn't feel like that this person was there for me. So it was when I moved interstate, I came back to Sydney and I really, really sat with this for a very long time. And I thought a lot about how I'd been treated. I thought a lot about how I'd been treated over the years, and it didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about what had been going on in that friendship over the last few years. And I had two choices. I could either just slowly let it fade away and disappear, which a lot of people were telling me to do. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people were saying, just let it fade out. You've moved back to Sydney, just let it fade out. But again, that didn't sit well with me. We had been incredibly close friends for 25 years. I couldn't just let it fade out into into the background. So I made the very big decision of I was going to break it off. And it is harder than any breakup I've ever had in my life. And I've had a lot of breakups with men. That's a whole nother podcast. But I had to treat it in that way. But I did it with love. I did it with kindness. And I genuinely wished her nothing but love, success, and an incredible life. For me, it was a decision I had to make for myself. I had to set my boundaries. And anyone that follows 15 Fearless on Instagram, I talk a lot about setting your boundaries. And I think the older we get, it is so important that we set those boundaries for loved ones, work colleagues, friends, and the more we can step into that and protect ourselves and protect our energy and protect what lights us up, that is incredibly important for us to step into being unapologetically us and being true to ourselves and not being someone to other people or that person that people want us to be. That is exactly what 15 Fearless is all about. It's being fearless and stepping into who you truly are, what truly lights you up, which what truly says to you, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and I'm not going to apologize for that anymore. And that is where I got to in that friendship. I felt I had put up with a lot, and I felt I had been taken a little bit advantage of, and I suddenly went, "This is not acceptable anymore." And so I broke it off, and I did it via text. I admit it. I did it via text, and there was a few text messages, back and forth. But as I kept saying in those messages, this is something that I need to do for myself. I need to now put myself first, and I wish you nothing but love, success, and I am doing this with utter kindness. There is no malice. There is nothing to this. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is I think too many of us stay in relationships, and this podcast is about friendship relationships. I think we stay in them because we feel we have to, and that there's years and years and years of history. So we have to keep making it work. We have to keep doing the right thing by this friendship because we've known each other for 25 years or 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. But what that is also doing is allowing people to come into your world, to let them walk all over you, to not allow yourself to have boundaries and to say, this is not okay. This is not acceptable that you come into my world and walk all over me the way you do. And it's interesting. And I thought about this a lot myself, and I'd really like you to think about it as well. Would you allow a partner, boyfriend to treat you the way that sometimes we allow our friends to treat us? And I find that really interesting because I think as women, we forgive too easily. And because we want to keep the peace, we don't want to rock the boat, we don't want to cause any angst. And I know I kept that friendship going for quite a few years exactly for that. We were part of a bigger circle. It was going to rock the boat. It was going to fracture the group's friendship. But I did speak to all of those friends after, and I said to every single one of them, this is nothing to do with anyone else. This is my decision and my decision only. Please don't get involved. Please stay in that friendship circle and do whatever is best for you. This is a boundary that I've set myself. This is a boundary that I needed to set for myself and not for anyone else. And I have to admit, and I'm really, in some ways, it breaks my heart to admit that it was so freeing. It was so incredibly freeing because all of a sudden I felt this really heavy, 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 dark energy that had been hanging around for so long. Because I'm a big believer too, everyone goes through bad times, but it's how you pick yourself up, choices you make, decisions you make in life, how you choose to show up every single day. That's what takes you into your future. And unfortunately, we were on very, very different pages when it came to that. So the reason I share this is I really, really want every woman out there to think of their boundaries and to really think about how can I protect myself and to really think about what is bringing joy to my life? What are the people around me that bring me utter joy, that light me up, that understand me, that are on the same path that I'm on, that know where I want to go, that support the decisions that I'm making in life, that get me. It's as simple as that. What women am I surrounding myself with that understand me? What friendship circles do I have that completely understand who I am and what direction I want to take? And the fascinating thing I found through this journey is the girlfriends that have also been in my life for a very, very long time. I feel like those friendships have got even stronger. And I think that's because I wasn't spending all of this energy trying so desperately to make this friendship work because it had been so long. And then I looked at all the other friendships they had around me and I'm like, I've got time for for them now. I've got energy to give to them. I want to show up for these friends. I want to be with these friends. We are on the same page. We want the same things. We think the same way. We've got the same morals. We've got the same values. All of those things that align to me. Now, was it easy to do? Absolutely not. It was the toughest breakup I have ever gone through. But I know it was the right decision for me. And I actually truly believe it was the right decision for her as well. And if she's listening to this, I am still wish her nothing but love and success and everything that she wants out of this world. It's just, it became a point in my life where I had to set that boundary. And that boundary was incredibly hard to put up, but it was also the most powerful thing that I have probably done for myself when it came to friendships. So it is a really tough thing to do. And I'm not saying everybody run off and evaluate their friendships or anything like that. I just wanted us to have the conversation, because if you are going through this at the moment, and if you're feeling that it's just hit that point where you're just going in very different directions and it doesn't fill your cup anymore and the joy has gone out of that friendship, it's okay. It's okay. And you just have to make the really tough decision of, when are you going to say, this is enough for me now? And I can't do this anymore. And it's a really, really, really tough thing to do. But I'm a really big believer that as we step into this era, we have to show up unapologetically ourselves. We have to show up true to ourselves. We have to come with what lights us up, where we want to go, because this is going to just keep rolling of all the other things that we're going to tap into. But this is why I wanted to tell this story now, because I think as we go on this journey and we move through this era of life, we want to make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with the people that bring us absolute joy, the people that light us up and that back us and support us and understand us. And when we say crazy shit, because we're going to say it, as we know, we're going into a no fucks era and we're going to go, this is what I want to do now. I want to travel to Europe, or I want to build this business, or all the crazy, fabulous things that I want all of this community to start thinking about. You want those people in your corner that go, I've got you. I 100% support you. You are awesome. Go for it. That's what we want. So what have I learned through this experience, and what do I want to share with you? My big thing is boundaries. They're not walls. They're not these big walls that we put up and we don't let in people in. They're actually invitations to yourself for self-respect and self-love. So I want you all to think about, where do you need to put up those boundaries to respect yourself and give yourself that self-love? So that's my first thing. My other thing is, letting go doesn't mean you've failed. So that's something I really struggled with. I felt like I had failed this friendship, this relationship. I felt a failure. I felt a real failure from it. And what I've learned since the breakup, if we can call it that, is actually it's not a failure. I've evolved as a person, and I've evolved so much that I could say, this is not okay for me. This doesn't work for me. And I think that is a really powerful place to step into, and something that I am now incredibly proud of, because I realized how much I've evolved and I wasn't going to put up with what I was going to put up with anymore. The other thing that is really important to me is, I'm not too much. I'm not too much for wanting a friendship that nourishes me, that waters me, basically, that makes me feel alive, that we share experiences and it's a two-way street. That when the cup gets empty, someone else fills it up, that person fills it up, and vice versa. It's like the old teacup, isn't it? One fills it up, one empties, one fills it up. But that's what friendship's all about. It swings and roundabouts, and you support each other through all of that. And that's okay. And that's something that I accepted as well. I'm not too much. I know what I want from my friendships, and I am so blessed that I have that with my friendships. And the other thing is, I've found peace with it now. So if you're out there going through this at the moment, thinking about this, have gone through it, just remember that what brings you peace, calm, lights you up, brings you joy, all those things, that is so important. And I talk a lot about being unapologetically you. Don't dim your light for anyone. Don't change for anyone. Don't be your full 100% fabulous self for anyone. And that includes friendships. This isn't just about relationships. When I talk about don't dim your light, step into your power, be your, unapologetically self, go into your no fucks era, do that for you. And that also means in friendships. So I hope this has resonated with you. And I hope that I can help other people out there that are going through this, been through this, because it's tough. And I don't think we talk enough about it. And it was really interesting. As a complete side note, I was with a friend over the weekend, and her 16-year-old daughter was having an argument with her bestie. And they were really vocal to each other, not in a yelling way, but they were really open with each other about why this person had hurt them, what had upset them. And I was listening, because they were in the lounge room talking, I was listening to this conversation going, they are being so honest, so raw, so unapologetically themselves. They're not hiding behind anything. They are sharing their feelings with each other. This is why you've hurt me. This is what you've done. The other friend then fed back. Why do we stop doing that when we got older? Why did we start hiding our true selves and not being our own unapologetically self? So that's the other thing I want to say. If you are feeling this tension in a friendship, have a chat. I think we forget that we have to work on friendships as well. It's a relationship. You have to work on it the same as you do in another relationship. So if you are having problems, talk it out, have the chat. But if you also feel like your boundaries are being crossed way too many times and that person's not listening, then I think you've really got to consider where that friendship's going. Because as I say, I want every single woman to step into this incredible, incredible time of life with so much confidence, just be themselves and light up the world. So if there's something dimming your light or someone dimming your light, that's something you've got to look at. And remember, this is your no fucks era. Now, that doesn't mean you're being heartless. That means you're literally protecting your own heart. If this has spoken to you and you'd love to share it with a friend that you think maybe needs some help in setting their boundaries, please send it on to them. And if you want to explore a little bit further, have a look at some of our courses, in particularly Unapologetically You. That's all about setting your boundaries and protecting your own space. Or if you feel like something a little bit more fun and creative and joyful, have a look at Feminine Fire. I hope this has resonated with you. Until next time, stay bold, set those boundaries, and stay your fabulous self. And remember, we are just getting started.